Hello, everyone. This is Brian. Thank you for visiting Spiritual Kings. Right now, I'd like to read from 1 Corinthians 13. This is verses 4. I'm going to read through 8. This is a very important portion of Scripture that talks about love. I know it's kind of a tough topic for some people to talk about, but this is how God defines love in the Bible. It says, love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. Sometimes translated as to love never fails. Folks, the world needs more love. There is so much animosity in the world. There's so much tension, and there's so much pain and unforgiveness. We see it in Ukraine. We see it in the issues with China and Taiwan right now. We see it all in the United States between the Republican and the Democratic Party and all of its constituents. There's so much pain in the world, and I used to get involved in it. Before I knew Christ, I used to think that it was important to fight your fights and say your words. And I'm not saying there aren't principles to be fought for. There are, but we also have to remember that if you do anything, do it in love. Apostle Paul says, do it in love. Love never ends. It never fails. I mean, it's as I came to Christ, he softened my heart in ways that I can't even tell you. I could tell you things about people that I used to have pain and anger towards that I don't even have anymore. And that's how real this is. God will heal your heart. He will change your heart. And this is the Apostle Paul, who was actually a person who persecuted Christians at one point, and then God saved him in his road to Damascus situation. And then he goes on to write this particular book and many books in the New Testament. His heart was also changed. The Apostle Paul has changed my life and my heart in ways you can't even imagine. I want to encourage you all to dig really, really deep. I know there's so much out there. There's tension, there's pain, there's pride, there's ego, there's so much. I came from a family where there was a lot of that. I saw a lot of it outside my family. I seen a lot of fights happen with people, and so much pain and unforgiveness. I know people that are still in stalemates that have been existing for years and years and years. And you look back, and for what? What is it solving? I think it was the great Ray Bradbury, the short story writer. I learned about him in high school, and he made a quote when he turned 70 years old. It's a great quote that's out there. It says, looking back on my life, I now see that love was the answer to everything. I mean, a statement like that should almost make you tear up a little bit. It's like, looking back, love was the answer to everything. I would challenge you right now, name one situation in your life where love wasn't the answer. Even if someone hurt you and cut you. I know that hurts. I know it hurts. I've been hurt and cut a lot in my life. But I have mended fences with people, and not all the things that have happened in the past are perfect right now. They're not all been ironed out. But I can say in my own heart, I have come to God and come to Christ and said and asked God to heal my heart from things in the past. People hurt me and cut me, and I can tell you it's changed me as a person, because now I have a more sense of inner peace. I don't hang on to things. I don't hang on to the animosity. And even though some people don't fully see it or appreciate it, it's what God has done to me. And of course, we don't know what the future holds. I continue to pray for some of those relationships and some of that brokenness that still exists. But the thing is, people, this is what God will do. He will change you. And my encouragement is to you to dig deep and find the depths of love in your heart for those who have hurt you, because I know it's hard. There's so much pain and animosity out there. I see it every day. That's why the more I walk with Christ, the less I'm around certain people, because it's just hard to hear what they're saying. There's so much brokenness and pain in people, and you want to fix everyone, but there's just so much out there. But it's tough. But my encouragement is stay close to the Lord, pray to him, ask him to heal you. Just straight up start that dialogue and just say, God, I have pain in me, unresolved animosity, and just bring it to him. He will always honor a contrite heart. I've brought things to him from things in the past that happened 10, 15, 20 years ago, and he's healed me. And I can honestly say that I've approached certain people with a more sense of peace, and I'm telling you, it's there. It's very real. People, it's tough, but it's beautiful, and it's deep. and it's profound. And this is how God could change an individual. He can heal you, and he can change you, and he can fix things, and he can solve relationships. I know a story about a great pastor, John MacArthur, in Southern California. He had a story. I don't know the exact details. I can post the link, but I think he had someone in his family who, I think it was his nephew or someone who was shot and killed by someone. And then someone in his family actually went and found that guy years later, and they offered forgiveness to the person who did that, who killed someone in his family. It was a pretty amazing story. I'm like, wow. I mean, if people can do that, you can certainly have forgiveness for people who've cut you within, who've done a lot less to you. So that's just an amazing story. It's one of thousands, if not millions, out there of people who have found ways to forgive someone. So I have worked a lot on my forgiveness over the years, and I can tell you, it's the greatest thing I ever worked on, because I feel so much more peace. And there's something they said about just real forgiveness, because holding on to that pain and animosity, it hurts. It hurts. It's just like Ray Bradbury said, looking back, love was the answer to everything. So that's my message for today. Please read all of 1 Corinthians 13 to let it get into your spirit and your mind and your heart. And I'll tell you, it will edify you and change you as God expresses his love to us in this beautiful book. So thank you all very much. Thank you for joining my channel. Please like, subscribe, and share. God bless.